Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Hari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Hari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana Jana Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana Jana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayam Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Patita Pavan Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Sutra Srimad Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Das Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samavet Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Yuga Dharma Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai Gaura Premananda All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, verse number 23. First, I would like to apologize to everybody. There are many senior devotees who can speak much better than me. I do not know why I have been put here. So we will try our best. Vastunaḥ mṛdu-kāṭhinya laghu-gurv-oṣṇa-śītatām jighṛkṣatas tvak nirbhinnā tasyāṁ mṛdu-kāṭhinya tatra ca antah bahir tatra ca I'm sorry tvacā tvacā labdha-guṇo vṛtaḥ vastuno mṛdu-kāṭhinya laghu-gurv-oṣṇa-śītatām jighṛkṣatas nirbhinnā tasyāṁ roma-mahī-ruhāḥ tatra cāntar bahir vātas tvacā labdha-guṇo vṛtaḥ vastuno mṛdu-kāṭhinya laghu-gurv-oṣṇa-śītatām jighṛkṣatas tvaṅ nirbhinnā tasyāṁ roma-mahī-ruhāḥ tatra cāntar bahir vātas tvacā labdha-guṇo vṛtaḥ vastuno mṛdu-kāṭhinya laghu-gurv-oṣṇa-śītatām jighṛkṣatas tvaṅ nirbhinnā tasyāṁ roma-mahī-ruhāḥ tatra cāntar bahir vātas tvacā labdha-guṇo vṛtaḥ
vastuno mṛdu-kāṭhinya laghu-gurv-oṣṇa-śītatām jighṛkṣatas tvaṅ nirbhinnā tasyāṁ roma-mahī-ruhāḥ tatra cāntar bahir vātas tvacā labdha-guṇo vṛtaḥ
vastuno mṛdu-kāṭhinya laghu-gurv-oṣṇa-śītatām jighṛkṣatas tvaṅ nirbhinnā tasyāṁ roma-mahī-ruhāḥ tatra cāntar bahir vātas tvacā labdha-guṇo vṛtaḥ
vastunaḥ, of all matter, mṛdu, softness, kāṭhinya, hardness, laghu, lightness, gurv, heaviness, oṣṇa, warmness, śītatām, coldness, jighṛkṣatas, desiring to perceive, tvak, the touch sensation, nirbhinnā, distributed, tasyāṁ, in the skin, roma, hairs on the body, mṛdu-kāṭhinya, as well as the trees, the controlling deities, tatra, there, ca, also, anata, within, bahir, outside, vātas, tvacā, the sense of touch or the skin, labdha, having been perceived, guṇa, objects of sense perception, vṛtaḥ, generated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When there was a desire to perceive the physical characteristics of matter, such as softness, hardness, warm, cold, lightness and heaviness, the background of sensation, the skin pores, the hairs on the body, and their controlling deities, the trees, were generated within and outside the skin, is a covering of air through which sense perception become prominent. The physical characteristics of matter, such as softness, are subjects of sense perception. And thus physical knowledge is the subject matter of the touch sensation. One can measure the temperature of matter by touching with the hand, and one can measure the weight of an object by lifting it with the hand, and thus estimate the heaviness or lightness. The skin pores, and the hairs on the body are all interdependent, with the touch sensation, the air blowing within and outside. The skin is also an object of sense perception. This sense perception is also the source of knowledge, and therefore it is suggested here that physical or physiological knowledge is subordinate to the knowledge of the self, above mentioned. Knowledge of self can expand to the knowledge of phenomena, and physical knowledge cannot lead to knowledge of the self. There is, however, an intimate relationship between the hairs on the body and the vegetation on the body of the earth. The vegetables are nourished for the skin both as food and medicine, as stated in the third canto, tasyāṁ asya nirbhinnā vivishur-dishniyam oshadhi. Om ajnanatirmirandasya gananjana shalakaya chakshurun militam mena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shrirupam sagrajatam sahagana raghunatanvitam tam sajiv Sadvaitam savadhutam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha Namahum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatvarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pango Langte Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare So this chapter is answers to all the questions. So we can understand that we don't have to go to the imperfect senses who gives us the knowledge in the colleges and other places. Because if you give the knowledge with the imperfect senses, then what we get is going to be imperfect and the knowledge will not be effective also. So here it says, Prabhupada is explaining, the knowledge of self is also greater than the sensory knowledge. Our senses are also imperfect. Okay? Okay. So these senses which are made of material elements, as it is mentioned here, that sense of touch comes from these material elements. When it is mentioned, the desire to perceive the physical characteristic of matter, as you want to judge the softness, hardness, warmth, cold, lightness or anything, you can touch it feel it by the hand, because the skin is the sensory. And since skin cannot be alone, because there is underlying of the air which helps the skin to feel it. Otherwise the skin sometimes can be dull, even though skin may be there. And you cannot perceive anything, you may not feel anything, because at that time we will say that portion of the skin is dead. So it is better to understand the self, which is the sum and substance of this, all the sensory organs. Not only feeling of the touch, but we have to see there is smell, there is hearing, there is sight, seeing. All these senses are equally potent as long as they are engaged and they can feel, you can get them. They are all the senses of acquiring knowledge. And so what knowledge we get it from this acquiring knowledge? The material knowledge to serve the body and take care of the body, or we should get the spiritual knowledge from this Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam. So we can get either material knowledge or we can get the spiritual knowledge. When we get the spiritual knowledge, all these sensory activities are beneficial, otherwise they are not. So we have to awaken, come to the point of self-realization then we will use these senses, which are just the lump of matter, and they are, if they are not utilized properly, it will carry us into the darkness, deep darkness of this material world, into the sense enjoyment. So we have to come to the point of self-realization so we can utilize every aspect of material nature in the service of Krishna. These senses or material nature is given by Krishna, is the property of Krishna, and we have to understand, as we are the servant, part and parcel of Krishna, as we are the servant of Krishna, all the things that are created in this material world is the sense, for the pleasure of Krishna. And if we do not understand ourselves and our relationship with Krishna, we will misuse everything that Krishna has given. So it is for our own benefit, we have to become first self-realized so that we can utilize all the instruments and all the things that Lord Krishna has given us in His service for our own benefit. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. This human life is only meant for that purpose, not for the using the senses in the sense gratificatory activities. So, well, we have to wake up to our science for our self-realization, and then we can come to the point of utilizing everything in the service of, that is the success of human life. Otherwise, after 8,400,000 of species of life, we are wasting this great asset. So please wake up and use all these things in the service of the Lord. Any questions or any addition? Or if I have said anything wrong, you have a right to correct me.
Yeah, this human form of life is a very valuable opportunity.
There is a question there too.
We're turning off the fan so we can hear better also. I can't hear a word with the fans on.
Turn it off.
Off. Completely off. Cut the fan off. Hearing is more important than air blowing over my skin. I want this going to my ears instead of my skin. We're going to wait a minute, get all these fans off so we can hear, take it deep, deep, deep within our hearts. This is great mercy to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually,
everything is off, sister. No. The mic is working now. But I said, if anybody has question, you added something. If anybody has question.
any questions?
How your journey in, utilizing all your senses in Krishna's service, because you have spent so much time in Krishna consciousness. Could you share your realizations, your journey for us? We struggle, at least I struggle a lot with my senses to use it in Krishna.
Everybody struggles with their senses. So we have to take utsahan, dhairya, nishchaya. Even if we are struggling for the body, why not we struggle for the self? Everybody is struggling very hard. So out of 24 hours, how many hours we use for the temporary body and how many hours? So we have to wake up from the dream state that we are utilizing so many times, so many hours in the body, which is temporary. One day it goes and mixes with the earth, water, and everything. So we have to use our intelligence. That's how we can.
Yeah, I mean, I got the point, but how did you feel the journey? I mean, you know.
I feel it's Krishna's mercy to understand these things and engage it.
Thank you, Mataji.
So the magic formula that Prabhupada's given us is if we get a higher taste, you know, then we don't worry about the senses, we just we're focused on serving Krishna. And if to get the higher taste, the number one formula that Prabhupada's given us for that is chanting really good rounds, right? And just focus, focus, focus. You know, it's the most important activity in our day. In Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22, text 113, Smartavya sadatam Vishnur Vishmartavyo najatuchit Sarve vidhi nisheda shur etayoriva kinkara. One should always remember Krishna and one should never forget him. And all the rules and regulations are simply servants of these two principles. And then in the purport, Prabhupada describes how if we want to remember Krishna, then we need to chant Hare Krishna. And then he goes on to say that of all the instructions of the spiritual master, this instruction to chant Hare Krishna, chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra, is the most essential. So it deserves our highest priority. And if one chants really good rounds, then he'll experience Krishna's presence throughout the day. He'll have the taste. And then it's very easy to not fall into sense gratification. But that's the formula. If we start our day right, but the whole day has to be focused in such a way that we can chant good rounds the next day, or in the morning. So take rest early. Don't eat a huge feast before you take rest, so you don't nod out during your japa, and avoid offending Vaishnavas. Read Srila Prabhupada's books, attend the full morning program. That's the formula that Prabhupada gave us. If we actually follow it, then it's not so hard. As Prabhupada said to there was this model that went out, this formula that went out in the early days at 26 2nd Avenue, because the hippies were before they took up Krishna consciousness, they weren't staying high by chanting Hare Krishna, but this formula is stay high forever, and you don't come down on any day. But that's how to do it, that's the most important instruction Srila Prabhupada's given us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Question.
All the instructions are given, but how to utilize and how much we utilize that is very important. Shravanam Kirtanam is there, but how much we are focused on it, that also counts. Everything is given to us by the mercy of the spiritual master and Guru and Krishna. We have gotten everything, but how much we gonna utilize it? That is important. Our busy days, most of the time is going in the body platform. So we have to understand this human life is very short and we have to take it seriously. That's how we can do it, otherwise not. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Although question is already answered, but still if you want to add, like my question was like this our consciousness that our this senses are for material enjoyment. like how we change this consciousness that these senses are for service of the Krishna. Like how we change this consciousness.
That's why Prabhupada here says, one has to become self-realized. One have to come to understand, Jivera Sarupa Hoy Krishnara Nityada. We are servant, practically we are servant of anything and everything. So intelligently, why don't we use this intelligence in the service of Krishna, knowing that I am servant. Like we are doing so much activities for the body, as extended bodies, attachments, sense gratification, everything. And then we are also, if nothing is there, people tend to keep the cat or a dog. They think we are masters. But who is the master? Nobody is master. So we have to understand the reality that we are the servant. In any situation, we are the servant. So now where are we going to put our service? That we're going to get greatest benefit for the soul or for the temporary things. We have to intelligently, using the human life is meant for intelligence, so we have to analyze the things intelligently and utilize everything in this for the self.
Thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, here it is said that after the knowledge of self, it can expand to knowledge of phenomena. So, Mataji, can you explain what is this knowledge of phenomena?
Yes, like it is explained about skin, senses, trees. This is phenomena. Material world is a phenomena. So when you understand the self, then you will know how all these things are also related with Krishna. Okay?
One thing also about sensory control, the Acharya teaches by his own example. So Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had, I think it was something like 50,000 disciples throughout India. But who stood out? Who was the most focused? And then when Prabhupada was reading Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's, Acharya teaches by example. So when he was reading Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary in Bhagavad Gita 2.41, Vyavyasyatmika buddhi ekiha kodunandana bahu shaka yanantastra buddhayo vyavyasyayinam. He was really struck, it went deeply in his heart, how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the order of the spiritual master, one should make the order of the spiritual master one with his heart and soul. So that's what enables us to stay focused. So if we're always thinking about Srila Prabhupada, and his amazing service to the world, I mean, it's just incredible what he did for us. And if we just think about, what he went through to take Krishna consciousness all over the world, it's much easier to just take his word seriously. But there's another real important point. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, this is 5,000 years ago, Prabhupada's appearance was predicted as a mantra upashaka. This is a conversation between Ganga Devi and Krishna. And Krishna said that there will be this worshipper of the holy name, mantra upashaka, that will appear and he'll spread the chanting of Hare Krishna all over the world. Okay, before it was in Bharatvarsha, okay, and then in the Sri Chaitanya Mangalam by Lochan Das Thakur, Prabhupada is again predicted as a Senapati Bhakta that will go all over the world and deliver the sinful people with the chanting of Hare Krishna. And then 1 year before Srila Prabhupada appeared, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Sojanatoshini article said that a great personality will soon appear on the planet and he'll spread the chanting of Hare Krishna all over the world. There's no one else that did that. So it gives you tremendous confidence, these predictions, tremendous confidence in what Srila Prabhupada has given us. And if we strictly follow it, then it makes it much easier. We just have to understand Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Shiksha Guru. And we just, if we take him into our heart, he'll help us. He'll give us, we can access his incredible level of bhakti shakti, and then the material realm won't be so bewildering for us. We'll have that strength.
Okay. We hear all these things again and again. Haven't we heard this? We have to put into practice. That's much more important. And unless we come to understand the soul is Nitya Das, it will be very, very difficult to apply. Bhagavatam gives, Acharyas gives, everybody has given us. So unless we take it seriously, deep into the heart, and come to understand Jivera Sarupa Krishna Nitya Das, we won't be able to practice anything. First step, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. First aphorism of Vedas.
Hare Krishna, Guru Mataji.
And, okay, and also Krishna says, this is the knowledge, otherwise there is nothing. Besides this, knowledge of Krishna consciousness, in chapter 13, verse number 21, it is mentioned, all this, what it means to be knowledge and what is ignorance. Unless we apply those things, we cannot wake up from our dream state. We have to become serious. Okay?
Hare Krishna, Guru Mataji. Thank you very much for the realizations. So in the conditioned state of life, the human being has got the natural attraction for the senses on the sense objects. So how do one stay determined to transfer that attachment for sense gratification to give it to Krishna's sense enjoyment? So how does one get that determination, strength for that?
Hearing from the Guru, sadhus, shravanam, kirtanam. That's how we can put it. My answers will be short because I'm not going to go into the long discussion. So it is short thing, shravanam, kirtanam. Put and come to understanding again the same thing. Jivera Sarupa Hare Krishna Nitya Das. Then your attraction, instead of material things, your attraction will be, when you understand who you are, your attraction will be the highest position with the Lord. Just like a child growing up, he has attraction more than any other sources. He has attraction for parents. Because he knows these are my parents. So when you come to know that my ultimate goal, authority is Krishna, Guru and Krishna, then we can get all this message also. As it is said, Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru. Tasyeta katita his artha prakashante mahatmana. So when we hear take the instructions of the sadhus, Guru and sadhu, Guru and Krishna in Shastra, you can sadhu, Guru, sadhu in Shastra, then we can come to understand our position. Because we are so much polluted by material education that we do not know that we are not this body. Simple thing, we are not this body. So unless we constantly hear, and come to understanding, you have to have the feeling that this is reality by understanding what is the difference between the dead body and living body. We are attached to somebody very much, but then they leave the body, what happens? All these things are temporary. And we don't benefit. All what we get is karma. So we have to, all these things, material things that what we are doing, we have to come to understand what is the purpose of behind this. Then we can take to Krishna consciousness only, seriously. And that is what Krishna explains by an example of a banyan tree. With a sharp sword of detachment, we should cut down this existing tree, eternally existing by that cycle of birth and death. Then only we can understand the higher principles.
Okay, Guru Mata. So if I still have that attraction, so that means, as you said, the hearing and chanting is not sufficient. Is that how?
Yeah, because our minds are running. We want to do it focus, but mind runs fast. And Prabhupada says in one of the chapters in Bhagavad Gita, this mind and the senses are the outlets for the desire of the soul. Outlets. But the soul has a desire, these senses are the outlets and they execute what the soul wants. So what we have to understand, what is the purpose of the soul, duty of the soul. Then we will engage these senses in the service of the Lord, not our desires.
Okay, thank you, Mata. So we need to strengthen our intelligence through hearing and chanting constantly.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have to strengthen. Even if you want to chant, because the material desires are there, you won't be able to chant. As we all try to. Don't we try to chant attentively? Prabhupada has explained, one should chant the holy name like a child crying for mother. How many of us can do it? No, it is not practical. A child crying for a mother will not want to hear anybody trying to cool them off. They will never hear unless the mother comes. So that's how our chanting should be. But we are not able to do it. So we are trying our best, but when we come to understand what is the purpose of life, then we can come. All you have to understand, as Prabhupada says, that we have to come to the self-realization.
Thank you.
With that, all the knowledge will come, and you will want to accomplish it. But right now we don't have that time, especially those who are householders, they have jobs, they have all kind of things. It's very difficult. So Krishna is saying, whatever you are doing, you engage it in the service. So gradually you will have a progress. Because doing the jobs and other activities, we are not able to offer all the results to Krishna also. So then we have shared benefits. Yes, Krishna is very kind.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji, for your nice, deep realization. My query is that I quote from Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Raganuga marge tare bhaje jeijon, seijon paye broje, brojendra nandan. So it is from Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Madhya Lila, 8th chapter, 220.
Can you read the translation, please?
Translation is that if anyone worship Krishna in Raganuga marg, means spontaneous attraction for Krishna, so in that way he can achieve or attain Braja, not in Vidhi marg, what we are doing now.
Yes.
My question is that how we can shift, as present we are following principles, Vidhi marg, Vaidhi, Bhakti. So at what point we can shift or automatically it comes naturally? So what's your suggestion, Mataji?
If you are fully engaged, you will naturally come to them. When your material desires are, as one is eating, they get satisfied. So if you take Krishna consciousness seriously, you will come to know that when we are coming to Raganuga platform, spontaneously, nobody has to tell me anything, how to eat, how to sleep. Just like when you have hungry, you know how to eat. When you are satisfied, you don't need to. So similarly, when you are engaged in devotional service, you will come to the point. You will not need to know whether you are on a raga platform or you are on a Vedic bhakti. Vedic bhakti is necessary in the beginning. It is necessary. So gradually when we can become fully detached from all the material things, then we know we are coming to raga bhag. Right now we have so many material duties. So that's why Vidhi Marg is given, so that at least timely manner we can do certain things. Otherwise we won't do even that much. Right?
I just read the translation Prabhupada wrote, actually I forget to mention. If one worships the Lord on the path of spontaneous love and goes to Vrindavan, he receives the shelter of Brajendra Nandan, the son of Nanda Maharaj.
Yes.
This is the translation. Prabhupada wrote.
Spontaneous loving service will be, I have no attraction for other things. I have no attraction for other things. Just like it is mentioned, we can see, even Haridas Thakur, he was beaten in 21 marketplace. He did not give up Hare Krishna mantra. So if we come to that, then we can understand we are on the self-spontaneous level. Okay? Yeah. This I am just giving practical. I'm not very sophisticated in the scripture or something. So just giving practical sides.
I can't remember the reference. I think it might have come from a book that Shivaram Swami wrote, but if we're on the path that leads to a relationship with Krishna, and even if we don't develop lobha, the greed that's required for Raganuga Bhakti, then at the end we'll still have the same destination. We'll still go there. And I have a practical experience of this. I had a Sankirtan partner for 18 years, and he left his body in Mayapur. He wasn't practicing Raganuga Bhakti at the end, or right up to, for a few years, but he chanted 16 rounds right up to the end. And there was no question, there was a whole series of miracles that took place with his departure. And there were like 80 devotees present in a 16 by 20 foot room, and the room was just completely overwhelmed with ecstasy. There was no question that he went back to the spiritual world. This is my friend Nirguna Prabhu. And very sincere soul. Actually Giriraj Swami, at the opening of the hospice in Vrindavan, I didn't know I was going to do this, but he asked me to speak about Nirguna's departure, because Nirguna Prabhu's departure, because I told him of the pastime like 3 days after Nirguna left. There was a big Chopadi Yatra here in Mayapur, and Giriraj Swami gave the first class. So I spoke about his departure, and then like a few months later he sent me a transcription and asked me if to edit it, and he'd put it in the death and dying from the Vedic perspective. It was life's final exam, death and dying from the Vedic perspective. So, and there are other examples like that too. Giriraj Swami said that what Nirguna went through has happened with quite a few devotees that have dedicated their lives to pushing the movement on. And but he had incredible realizations and depth of Krishna consciousness at the end. Tigache?
So Prabhupada also said, we should not wait for the honorary degree. Some can get honorary degree, not everybody. So we have to work hard. So I can say about Prabhu's father. He never practiced Krishna consciousness, but he was favorable. When he was leaving the body, his eyes were all turned over completely, and Prabhu is chastising him. What are you doing? Why you are still thinking something? Why don't you remember Krishna? So I said, no, he is fearful of Yamadutas. Please do the kirtan. So as soon as we started kirtan, his eyes became very peaceful and he departed. So we don't look for and wait for the honorary degree. It can come to anybody. Please. Thank you very much. We are on time.